Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, brothers in arms, World of Warships, and in today's video, we will be uploading my last replay to YouTube. I'm playing in the Baltimore, the Tier 8 American Heavy Cruiser, and I'm divvied up on EU with my buddy Online. He's playing in the Kiev, the Tier 8 Soviet Destroyer, and we're playing some domination here on the map Hotspot. So after a little over 3.5 years, I have finally decided to quote-unquote hang up the cleats here on YouTube. And I really didn't storyboard how I want this commentary to go. So I guess I'll just intermix it a little bit with my decision, telling you guys why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I guess just a little update on where I'm at in my life, as well as the gameplay that's going on here as well. So this is a decision that took a few weeks at least to come to. It's definitely been a thought of mine, probably about as early as March or February of this year, 2019. And just a few things have changed where I'd like to call it quits here on YouTube. Now, obviously there's going to be many questions, there's going to be many things that you guys want to know, and hopefully I'll be able to answer those questions and concerns over the course of this replay. So, obviously, I've had an amazing time making content for you guys. The channel got relatively large for the scope of this game in particular. Myself, Elastic Spider, Puddin', we've had an amazing time, a lot of fun, both playing the game and making the videos, of course, and helping you guys get better at World of Warships. But there's a few things that have made my decision a little easier to make. First of all, I am in my second year of school, and while it is only undergraduate studies, I do want to focus a little bit more on my schooling. I've said it before a long time ago in another video, but I'm going for a history major, and I'd like to focus a little bit more on my schoolwork. Now, I did do perfectly fine my first year, and so far so good in the second, but I definitely think that I could spend a little bit more time in the pursuit of my goals. Another thing, the state of the game. Obviously, the carrier changes. I believe it was late January, early February was when the RTS CVs went the way of the dumpster, and we have the new version that has been in the game since then. And obviously, a lot of people did not like that. You can see that in the amount of players that now play this game, especially the carrier population. Also, pretty ridiculous changes have really sunk the population of the destroyer community, no pun intended there. So there's definitely some changes that I don't necessarily agree with. Now, on a side note, I will still be playing this game, don't get me wrong. It's just there's some decisions that have been made that are questionable at best. So those are a couple reasons, at least game related, why I'm just kind of tired. I'm, like I said, still going to be playing World of Warships. It's just there's a lot of grinding that goes on when you're trying to make videos. There is a lot of free time that you have to spend rendering stuff, recording stuff, not just the video that you're making on your, video editor, but also just opening the replay file and recording it. I use NVIDIA, so there's a lot of free time that gets taken away in making these videos. And unfortunately, due to the decaying state of the game, we really weren't getting the viewage numbers on the YouTube that I guess we had been accustomed to, at least in mid to late 2018. That was pretty much the high watermark of our channel, but I've noticed that it just doesn't seem like a lot more new players are really interested in the YouTube side of things. And of course, the elephant in the room, I haven't really been able to stream whatsoever. It's just not really been in the cards for me. I've never been able to make enough time for it, and obviously a lot of the CCs for World of Warships are indeed streamers because they want that kind of interaction with the community on an almost daily basis. And unfortunately, that's something that I have never been able to and will not be able to provide now. So that's definitely something that has irked me a little bit. Obviously, they choose who they want for their CC program, and I'm sorry to you guys out there that we weren't able to achieve that. It would have been awesome to put test ship gameplay up on the channel or leaking new footage and whatnot, but alas, it was not able to happen. So, unfortunately, with that being the case, it's just another little stepping stone in my decision to give up the YouTube commentary side of things. Now, there are some things that will not be changing. For one, the Discord will stay up. Puddin is going to continue making videos on BIA, however frequently or infrequently that he decides to do so. But I guess since myself and Spider will now be gone, you could potentially see a rebranding of the channel. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really gotten into the nitty-gritty details with Puddin, but of course, Puddin is going to take care of things, so whether you guys want to stick around and continue watching, that of course is all on you. Puddin has made some great content for our channel, and he obviously is just a great person to listen to. Sure, the raspy voice may get a little annoying at times, but you can't argue that he does have some pretty good content quality in his videos, and just good gameplay overall. I've really enjoyed doing the community replays. It's been awesome to comment on your guys' submissions and, try to guess what you were thinking at the time or why you made the plays that you did. Tactics and Strategy series was actually my favorite to make because it allowed me to open my Super Unicum mind up to those out there that maybe didn't understand something and give you guys some different food for thought and some ways that you can improve your gameplay really rapidly. And that was definitely my most favorite. That and making the ship reviews as well. It was nice to be able to take 20 to 25 minutes just completely unpackaging a ship in-game and telling you guys how to get the most out of it. So those are definitely some of my favorites. I mean, just thinking about all of the incredible replays that I uploaded, and as a whole at BIA, we were able to provide some excellent gameplay. And while we didn't get the subscriber or view numbers that we ultimately hoped to get, we still really enjoyed making those videos, especially myself. There were a lot of times where I'd wake up and be really excited to get the next video uploaded to YouTube. We also did some wonderful podcasts, especially with Stuntman back in 2016 and 2017. That was a lot of fun to be able to take part in with him. So we definitely accomplished a lot, got Reddit community contributor status. I'm obviously still an admin for King of the Sea. Just a lot of awesome interaction with the community. And I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't miss it at all. I've really enjoyed interacting with all you guys on YouTube. And the one thing that just goes to show is the like to dislike ratio, the amount of comments that you guys have left on our videos. Again, even though I personally didn't think we got the viewage that I thought that our content was capable of bringing in, it was always nice to see very positive or neutral comments from you guys asking us about something Warships related or historical related. It was nice to see all of that banter in the comment section, and hopefully we were able to comment on your guys' stuff. I tried as hard as I could to be able to comment to everybody's comment, and I've said that word quite a bit now. But yeah, it's just been great to interact with you guys, of course. And of course, the like to dislike ratio, clearly we were putting out content that you guys were enjoying and hopefully improved your gameplay. So it's definitely a bittersweet decision, but just again, between college, between the state of the game, between the inability to gain CC status, and of course just the amount of time that it takes, eventually it does run thin. And I hope you guys are okay with this decision. I've come to peace with it. Again, I've really enjoyed interacting. I've met so many great players, so many great people, for that matter, playing this game. And hopefully, if you continue to watch videos on our channel, or maybe a couple years from now when you're done playing the game, you come back to BIA and maybe you watch an old video and reminisce about all the great times that we've been able to have here on the channel. And I mean, I'm definitely feeling a little emotional right now, that's for sure. But yeah, it's just going to be a nice little keepsake for old times when we're older and we have family things and more important matters to take care of. We'll be able to look back very fondly on the times that we had playing the video games. And again, for me especially, making these videos, I've really enjoyed interacting with you guys and hopefully helping you get better at this game that we all deep down love inside. So I will give you some commentary here for the last 11 minutes of this replay, and then I will be bidding farewell to you guys. So at this point in the game, it's 432 to 605. I managed to burn down the Ashitaka with the help of On Laitung in the Kiev. However, we still are losing 480 to 553 now. Each side has lost 4 ships, and the enemy team is hella spread out. They got a Kagero all the way over on the one line. However, the majority of their ships are in the vicinity of the D capture point, and that is where Online and myself want to head over to, because we really feel that is going to be the center of gravity for the rest of this game. That enemy Baltimore is down to 11,000 hit points. I am able to lob some shells over the corner, just trying to hit the bow, maybe get some citadels on the front part. Unfortunately, the last salvo was a little off right there, but again, we need to get over towards the D cap. We need to try to deal with those ships that are in that vicinity. The enemy team is flipping the A cap. You can see that the enemy Kagero is inside the cap. We do have a Buffalo that's moving on, trying to push him out of there, which it appears he is doing. But at this stage, there's still 2 enemy battleships that are very close to full health over there, sitting just south of D, and we really got to start getting some frags here. So you can see Online is replying with his guns downrange at the enemy CNOP and the Lion, but we can start to see that some of those enemy ships in front of us are getting a little bit too overextended, and the first one is going to be the John Bart. So while I do have my guns trained to the starboard side, trying to get some shells lobbed over at the enemy BBs, I'm now going to switch my fire here to the John Bart and get into a kiting position. Of course, American cruisers are relatively nimble, and they do have pretty good rudder shift, so if you can get to medium range and start kiting away, you can be exceptionally hard to hit. And of course, because the Baltimore has a base reload of 10 seconds, this thing is one of the best damage-dealing cruisers at its tier, and especially so with the upgraded armor-piercing ammunition. With the improved pen angles, you can get a lot of damage dealt in a very quick amount of time. Once again, you can see that we're focusing on the Jean Bart. Hopefully our friendly battleship will be able to chime in, and the Izumo does manage to do so. So we're just trying to farm this guy down. The Scharnhorst, our friendly Scharnhorst, that is over in D9. He is running away from the Massachusetts, but that guy is only at 25,000 hit points. So hopefully, once the Jean Bart gets taken care of, we can also get the frag on that American battleship, and then we can try to push into the D cap. However, I will admit that there is a significant portion of the battle going on at A that we have no direct influence on. So if our team really folds over there, then it doesn't really matter what we do on this flank. We're not going to be able to win this battle. However, getting the kill on the Jean Bart, that tier 9 premium French battleship, certainly helps, and now Online is making a beeline over for the Massachusetts. You can already see that there are shells going down range at him, so I'm going to, in the meantime, try to move over towards the D cap, because I did stray away a little bit further than I wanted to. However, we do get a trade, the Akatsuki for the Baltimore, which is great. So it's still keeping the game relatively close, as each side is down to their last 6 ships apiece. And you can see that Online is now getting the high explosive spam going on the Massachusetts. So I'm going to swing my forward turrets into play on that guy and help him get this frag. It's 510 to 725 now. The enemy team does have 3 out of the 4 caps. The Buffalo hopefully will be able to move into the A cap and get the frag on the enemy Kagero, but he is getting shot in the side from quite a few enemy ships. There's also that San Luis over in F1 that could potentially be a big nuisance. But first, this Massachusetts needs to die. I'm also trying to take a peek over at the Miyoko to see what he is doing. My next salvo falling down range. I do get a couple hits. However, Online manages to get the kill secure on the Massachusetts. So now I'm quickly switching to armor piercing here, trying to get my front turrets ready to go. The Baltimore does have relatively modest turret traverse, but before the Miyoko gets undetected, I do get a salvo of AP going down range. And again, it doesn't matter the distance, this AP hurts really, really bad. The shell's fallen on the target, and I do manage a citadel and a couple pens for about 6,000 points of damage. So then the Miyoko decides to shoot back at me, thinking that he is as good as dead. He's on 950 HP. I aim a little high with the AP just to ensure the penetrations. And this Japanese cruiser is about ready to kick the bucket as I pick up my 4th frag of the game on that tier 7 Japanese cruiser. So now we're in a much better situation. It's 5 versus 4, and not only has the Buffalo been able to drive the Kagero completely off the A cap, but now we have a friendly Izumo that is pushing in on the D cap. So the enemy team, while they still have the cap lead, are now going to be under immense pressure, and of all things, the Buffalo's secondaries managed to get the kill on the Japanese destroyer. So what I'm going to try to do now is put myself in a spot where I'm going to be able to stealth fire at the Lion. All I got to do is break line of sight. Of course, the only enemy ship that's anywhere remotely close to him is the CNOP, and there is a large island in between me and him. So I will be able to farm this guy down more or less undetected. Of course, the plane will fly around in its circular pattern every now and then to get me spotted, but both of those battleships are incapable of replying to me at this moment, so I am able to get some free damage here. And that is one of the key things for American cruisers. Whether you're playing the heavy or the late versions, you need to be able to put yourself in situations where you can take advantage of island cover and utilize the quote-unquote bad shell arcs to your advantage. And again, because the reload on the Baltimore is pretty good, you can see the damage output is quite high if you manage to put yourself in the right spots. It's very Charles Martel-like. I think they have the same reload. Of course, the Charles Martel is the much longer HE spammer, whereas the Baltimore needs to get in a little closer to do its deadly work. Now, Onlight is moving into position to try to get torpedoes on those battleships. The best part about enemy ships that are crowded up against islands is that it makes it very easy to try and outflank. They're both sitting bow on in reverse, so Onlight could potentially go around the corner here with his torpedoes and potentially nuke both of those enemy battleships. So he's going to move into position. Unfortunately, nothing is being detected right now, and I have 46 seconds left on the radar, but he wants to slow down and first ensure that the decap comes under our control. We've been able to move the scores back to 699 to 710, so things are still looking okay for us. As long as we don't lose a couple friendly ships here really shortly, we should be A-okay. And Online is getting ready to go. I think he told me at the time that he wanted to get his torpedoes back up and running, but now that those are ready to go, you can see that the CNOP is also pushing in. So now it is time for Online to go flying out the corner, and we'll see what he's going to be able to do here. I do have high explosive loaded, a little bit of a mistake, probably should have the armor piercing. He does take a rather large salvo from the front turrets of the CNOP, but now it is time for the Soviet DD to make its presence felt. The first salvo of torpedoes gets a detonation on the CNOP, because why not? And now he'll be able to get his port side of torpedoes out on the Lion. Any second now, we're just going to wait for those white triangles. There we go. The Lion is not going to be able to get out of the way in time, and he picks up the high caliber and the devastating strike after the Confederate. So quite a bit of medals right there for Online, as I believe he picked up his third and fourth frags of the game as well. So definitely a good move right there that completely secures the victory. And now with the San Luis last reported at I2, I'm going to get my turrets torn to the starboard side here any second now and move over towards the sea cap. So definitely a game that was looking a little lost. Even midway through the battle, we were able to have an immense impact on this outcome. Completely rolled through the decap side, killing everything in our way. And now we're going to go wrap up a very impressive comeback for our team. And there is one little nugget left in here in this replay. Like I mentioned earlier, Baltimore and American heavy cruiser AP in general is very, very spicy. It is capable of getting some really good citadels at angles that you might not expect. But of course, if you do get really tight dispersion, and the American heavy cruisers certainly qualify for that, you can get some big time hits as well. And actually, what's about to happen, the guy messaged me after the battle and was complaining about it, so I think you might know what's about ready to come here. But as my rear turret is swinging into play, again, all of my guns are pointed to the starboard side. And another thing about the Baltimore is that it has excellent stealth. 9.9 kilometers fully concealed. The San Luis is going to make a big turn here on 25,000 hit points. I am, of course, able to get the drop on him because he has much worse surface detection than me. Shells are going down range. It looks very good dispersion-wise. And that's 5 citadels with a Kraken to end the game in style. Alrighty guys, taking a look at the final post-battle results. 561,000 credits received, 16,300 total experience earned. This was not my first win of the day. I picked up Devastating Strike and Kraken Unleashed, dealing 165,000 points of damage off of 222 shell hits. I had 6 citadels, 9 fires, and sunk 5 enemy ships. Taking a look at the team score, Online finished in first with 2624 base XP, followed by myself with 2,301. And then, of course, I'd like to give a shout out to the Buffalo, who managed to get the kill on the Kagero and did some pretty good work over at the ACAP, as well as the Azuma, who managed to contest D and give those enemy battleships something else to think about. Taking a look at the detailed report, 137,000 damage dealt with the main batteries, 91k with the HE, 45k with the armor piercing, 27,000 fire damage, and I really didn't take that much in return, only 4,600, as I was for the most part able to get into really good farming positions. Obviously the Jean Bart and the Ashitaka felt that the hard way, and then the San Luis getting nuked, the Haguro getting hit pretty good, and then a couple other battleships and whatnot that were at the receiving end of my damage. So yeah, guys, that's it. I seriously cannot thank you enough for watching my content. To all of the wonderful people out there that I've met through the YouTube Quicksilver Slash, Sailing Robin, Stuntman. I mean, those are just a few of the names that I can think of. Got to play with Aaron a couple times. iChase featured a replay of mine. Panzerknacker has featured some replays of mine. Just interacting with the community, trying to be, at least I was at a time, active on Reddit, Discord, and all that. It's just been a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm definitely a little sad to be going away from YouTube, as it's represented a large portion of my early 20s life. But as they say, all good things come to an end. And thank you guys for being around and enjoying the content that we've been able to produce. So I'm sorry to get a little emotional here, but it's just something that I've really, really enjoyed, and I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. So to quote something from the Marine Corps that was said a lot of times at going aways and whatnot, fair winds and following seas, guys. Thanks again. This is Sneaky Snake for BIA World of Warships signing off. Guys and gals, as always, have a great day.